Alright, and off we go again with a new live stream. This is the second live stream, of course, that I'm doing for Demon Souls here. And in the last video, I feel like I wasn't very focused on Demon Souls. I was focused on a lot of other things and just sort of playing the game, I guess on autopilot. At this point, and continuing onwards into the rest of the parts, of course, well, I say the rest of them, no. There are going to be an immeasurable number of these videos, so it's not for the rest of them, but I'd like that to be the case either way. But the point is that I'm going to be working more closely with my build here. I'm going to be a little bit more focused on the game itself rather than talking about past stories and crap like this. So, yeah. So what I'm going to do is, of course, just work things out on my side as far as the live stream. Like, I need to open it up on my laptop, all of that business, so do give me a moment to do that. As well as that, I think it's worth mentioning that there were a few issues that I identified in the previous recording, which is really good because, you know, the live test stream was pretty good in the sense that I was able to get more of a tangible perspective on what could possibly go wrong. But the actual proper live stream that I did yesterday, being the first one in the series, was also quite telling as far as what I could possibly be changing. One issue that arose that I wasn't expecting was OBS, making my vocal audio go out of sync. Now, how I've fixed that for the moment is by setting OBS at a higher priority in my task manager. Hopefully that makes a difference, because I can assure you that it's not a hardware thing as far as things going out of sync. It was just OBS being stupid, I'm pretty sure. Very confusingly, I needed to add a delay on between the webcam and the microphone. I didn't normally need to add a delay, but yesterday I added a delay because it seemed to be necessary because I was trying to sync it up in OBS, but now I don't need to add a delay. So what I'm trying to say is that OBS cannot make up its frickin' mind as to what it wants to do, so it's starting to bother me a little bit, but I can only hope that things are going to work pretty smoothly this time around. As well as that, I also learned that the immediate playback of the live stream as it's archived to YouTube does have lower quality while it's being processed. As far as how long it takes for YouTube to process that, it can actually take a while. So yeah, that's worth mentioning, I think. Now, that was something that I was worried about, because when I was watching the stream back yesterday, probably within the first hour or so, I was a bit worried with how poor quality my actual person on the screen was. But I was thinking that this would be the case, when I looked back later, obviously when the video had been completely processed, I looked a lot better. So that's one weight off my shoulders. I don't have to worry so much about that now. So that's a good thing. Because that was another thing that was worrying me about the quality of the live stream, but that seems okay now. As well as that, I've also set the option to normal latency. Before I had it on low latency, which I think was doing a bit of a number on my internet as well. So hopefully normal latency will result in better quality overall for the stream for you. While there will be a little bit more latency, obviously, that shouldn't really interfere too much with what I'm trying to do here. Anyway, let me just go ahead and share this link in a Discord channel that I was told I can share that in, because you see, I'm not about self-promotion really. Like, I'm pretty bad with putting myself out there, but my friend Sam said that said that I can share this in a Discord channel, so that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I suppose that's going to work normally. I just linked the video, and so that should take people to the live stream. Anyway, what we're going to be doing in this video, as I did mention just before, is we're going to be focusing more on the build at hand. In the last video, I was playing on autopilot and doing so really, really poorly. And I don't really think I need to explain to you why that was poor play. I think I died twice in World 1-1, the first freaking area of the game, and I died twice. I mean, that's pretty awful. So obviously I'm not going to have access to Executioner Meralda, who was a possibility for me, considering I'm running a female character and Executioner Meralda's armor set is female only. So that was a good opportunity to use an armor set that I don't always use, and of course, without really thinking, I decided, hey, I'm going to play like an idiot today, or yesterday as it was, and die 2 times, and therefore probably never get access to Executioner Meralda during this playthrough, but that's alright, it doesn't bother me too much, because I'm aware of the fact that I'm going to be doing so many builds here that it's going to be fine. Actually, another thing to mention, I dropped down the level of the game just a little bit more because it was a little bit too loud even in the previous videos. So once again, this is a great opportunity for me. Well, the last recording that I did live was a great opportunity once again for me to fine-tune a few things. So even though I did have the test stream, in a weird way the previous live stream was also a little bit of a test, but I was actually getting ahead with what I was wanting to do for this particular build at the time while doing it. Now, what I plan to do first and foremost is really try to engage with my magic stat in the early game. And how I'm going to do that is by acquiring a Crescent Falchion, which is going to be in World 4.1. Now, I do have a brief memory of, well, brief memory, a slight memory, or whatever you want to say. Brief isn't the correct term. But the point is that I have a vague recollection of there being a Crescent Falchion in 4.1, and I did go and confirm that online. I recently saw that while editing through some of my Demon Souls recordings, because I am at the moment working on a compilation for that, and so therefore I was able to see that in one build, particularly my first one that I did on the channel in 2015, did have a Crescent Falchion. And of course that's going to work very well for me, given that I am... oh, of course this is still locked, I haven't talked to the Monumental yet, I'm being retarded. Well, let's go ahead and do that first. That's going to be the first thing on the list of things to do in this video. So, I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.99% positive that all the characters in this game are speaking English, despite this being the Japanese version. This is something that I've always been more or less aware of, because I remember when I think I wanted to watch some Japanese gameplay of Souls games for the exact reason that I wanted to hear the Japanese voices, and then I would be shocked to find that there were no Japanese voices. So yeah, if you're having trouble finding the Monumental that you're actually supposed to talk to, it's really not that difficult. It's the one with the frickin' candle, the one that's not dead.
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons.
I have my TV so low, so I can't really hear this woman talk.
We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something.
It sounds like English to me, but anyway. Point is, we need to sit through a cutscene, which I'm not going to sit through, if you can forgive me for that. I've sat through it too many times, you'll have to forgive me. Yes.
Now, the old...
Rightio. So, of course, those yes and no questions are a bit freaky, because I don't know what the fuck they're asking me, but anyway. Aside from that, now that we have talked to the Monumental, even though we are at a fairly low level, we do have access to all of the worlds in the game. So, it does confuse people when they're going through this game blind, and it bloody well confused me when I was playing through this game for the first time back in 2009. Just one of the many things that sort of kicked my ass when it came to this game. One was not being able to access any frickin' archstones. I think I had to look online for that. So in the end, it didn't really hold me up too much, but I did... what I do prefer is to work out things for myself when I'm playing a game, and then I'll look at a walkthrough when I well and truly give up. But I think I tried really hard to work out how to open the archstones, and I just couldn't find that Monumental. I was going up there, but I just didn't... I don't think I even knew that that was someone I could talk to. But anyway, obviously I was being stupid. I don't think we're going to deny this. Me being stupid is not uncharacteristic of Doomlink. But yeah, so what we're going to be doing, as I said, is going into World 4, which is the Archstone of the Shadow Men, which is, you know, all in Japanese right now, if I can possibly demonstrate that. Yeah, it's called the Archstone of the Shadow Men. I don't believe we meet any Shadow Men. I mean, I don't know what a Shadow Man is. I mean, look at that guy. He looks like he's got some sort of turban on. I don't know. I always thought that was kind of creepy. He's just got this very dead-looking face, you know. If you've ever seen a mummy, like a full-on mummy, then yeah, that's pretty much what they look like. I do love all this Japanese on the screen. It's just so different to what I'm used to, because once again, I've never really played the Japanese version at all, because I only got it last year, and I didn't want to actually play it until I was streaming it, so yeah, this is pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I might stop enjoying it if I reach a point where I'm like, God, what the hell does this say? And it's going to bother me, but I don't think I will. I think I should be alright. Because for the most part, I remember the names of everything and what I'm supposed to do in the game. It's not a very long game, not a very big game, so I should be alright. Now, of course, something that I need to decide right now is whether I'm going to go through the entirety of World 4.1. I don't know if I will. If I wanted to, then I would take the shortcut, but I don't know if I want to do that. I'll have to make a decision on that. I really am not sure. I can tell that there's not too much more latency than there was before. Please die. Okay, maybe I'll go melee with you at this point. There we go, I'll backstab you from that point. That's good. Because of course I'm a little bit wary about these guys and the damage they're dealing to me, because I'm only... That was Bladestone, by the way. These guys drop Bladestone, but to my knowledge, these guys have a lower drop rate of Bladestone compared with the ones in the area after this, so 4-2. Because I just don't seem to get Bladestone from these guys very often. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I'm a little bit wary of the damage that these guys are doing to me, and what I actually should have done, which is what I forgot to do, one thing that I was planning to do before going to World War 1, in fact, was level up. Should I go back and do that? No. Possibly the worst decision that I could have made, but whatever. I don't know if fire does more damage, or soul arrow, whatever, I actually don't know. I want to get some distance here, but at the same time, it's really, really difficult, as you can see, to get distance. Because these guys are crazy. Ooh, just get away from that. That particular attack will probably kill me, to be honest. Just die, thank you. They're not too difficult to deal with, it's just that if you get caught in their stun lock or something, it gets pretty annoying pretty fast. I'll take off Turpentine, I don't really need that. I don't have Crescent Moongrass, I only have half in the late, so that's a little annoying. But that's alright, I mean, I guess I'll just have to waste a little bit of half Moongrass, that's okay. I do have a lot of health here, as compared to the previous area, because I am currently alive. Also, another thing that I wanted to mention, I don't believe that I'm going insane when I say that the servers are up. I just don't think that I'm going insane when I say that, because I saw, when I was going through the tutorial in the test livestream, a ghost walk past me, clearly a person playing online, and because I've seen that so many times, and I don't know, I looked online and I had sort of mixed information being told to me, but anyway, I really don't know. I'd like to assume that the servers are up. If they're not, then oh well, that's alright, nothing I can really do about that. But anyway, yeah, oh come on, just die, man. Don't waste my time. So, the Crescent Falchion is a good weapon to get in 4-1 for magic builds, and a good weapon to get for dexterity builds here is also the Adjudicator, which is a little bit further in near where the Vanguard is. I'm just gonna knock you off, just, yeah, go on. I didn't even need to knock that person off, just did a cartwheel off the fucking edge anyway, which is always good. Anyway, so, depending on whether you have the Thief's Ring or not, you will either get 1 or 2 here. It's easy to, even with the Thief's Ring, get 2 coming after you. But, yeah, trying to not get 2 coming after you, it's pretty bad. But, anyway. As far as where the Crescent Falchion is, I believe it's just around there. Possibly even behind the black Adjudicator skeleton, which is frightening, because that guy has the capacity to completely and utterly wreck me right now. So, well, maybe not completely and utterly wreck me, but it's going to hurt if he wants to do anything to me. And he's going to want to do something to me, I can assure you. So, yeah. As you can see, these guys are a bit fiddly. They do a lot of rolling around, and you can see that these guys definitely did carry over into Dark Souls in a lot of ways when it comes to the skeletons. The design is very different, but the way in which they fight you is very similar, because, I mean, I would say that these guys are a lot more, I guess, acrobatic. They're sort of doing cartwheels around the place. I mean, the skeletons in Dark Souls didn't do that, fortunately, but the concept of the enemy rolling into you and stun locking you and dealing damage to you, that is what has carried over from this game into Dark Souls, so yeah, that's worth mentioning. There is a Talisman of God just over there. What that means is that it is a... Wasn't there... God, what was that called in Dark Souls? Maybe it was also called a Talisman in Dark Souls, I can't really remember. It's what you need to cast miracles, and there is a catalyst in... No, it's a talisman in this game. It's a Talisman of Beasts, which allows you to cast magic and miracles with the talisman. I do not believe that there is a catalyst form of that. The Insanity Catalyst is kind of the really high damage catalyst, but I don't usually use it. It requires the Yellow Demon Soul, which is the Archdemon boss soul of World 3, who is the old monk. The guy who I was talking about getting the monk's head collar from, which I don't even know if that's going to be possible. It probably won't be. Look, I haven't found any messages down, so I mustn't be online. Anyway, doesn't matter too much. Now there's a pressure plate here, just stand to the side. You'll be able to avoid it. What was I saying? Oh. I hate it when I lose my train of thought. But anyway, I was talking about the talismans and the catalysts. That's right. But I'll probably end up using the wooden catalyst. That's usually the best one overall. So, anyway. If I can possibly work out what I want to do with you. How I'm going to fight this guy is going to be purely dependent on how much damage I'm going to do to him with this attack that I'm about to launch at him. That's manageable. As long as you have the Thief's Ring and you keep out of his aggro distance, he sort of just lumbers towards you. He doesn't really care too much, so, you know, that's fine. He just dropped Soul Remains. That is not really going to be useful for us. That is the Crescent Falchion +1. So what that means is that it is... I don't know if that means that it's upgraded once or it's just the regular path, but you can see the difference in the damage that that's dealing overall. Of course, it's dealing magic damage as well. You can see the red values at the top there that say 67 + 0. Those are the physical values. It's saying +0 because I'm getting absolutely no scaling on this weapon that is contributing to the amount of strength that it's got in the physical sense. But you can see below it the two values, 82 + 23. Of course, 82 is the innate magic damage that this weapon is doing. The +23 is what I'm getting from the A scaling in magic that I currently have. Overall, that results in 172 versus 84 for end damage. And even though that's not all physical, I'm going to be doing a lot more with this thing versus the scimitar that I just had. So the benefit to this is that I don't have to waste Sharpstone on any weapons that I want to upgrade into something that I can actually infuse with Moonlight Stone, which I believe is what... I can't remember if it's Moonlight Stone or Dark Moonstone that creates Crescent. I just don't remember. I have to tell you that I do forget a lot of things about this game from time to time, but yeah, it all comes back to me eventually, and I can assure you that this entire streaming series is going to be a big example of me relearning this game and mastering it, because I'm telling you, I'm going to be recording this game so much, you haven't got a fucking concept of how much I'm going to record it. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to master this game, and I'm going to know it inside and out like you wouldn't believe in a few years' time, or maybe not even that. But anyway, I need to make a decision right now whether I want to continue and finish the level, because I have to tell you that I'm quite close to finishing it already, because, and I haven't really done much. That's because there's a shortcut that pretty much takes you right to the entrance of the boss, which is something that I would recommend doing if you're coming in at this point in the game. I guess should I do that? You know, the extra souls are pretty tempting, so I might go and do that. Because at this point, I believe 170, whatever it is, 172 damage is enough to fight. What's his face? What's he called again? The Adjudicator, that's what he's called. The shield that I have right now is a bit poor. I want a better shield than this. Need to think of where I can actually get one. I'm not too sure off the top of my head as to where I can get a decent shield. I might be lucky and get one from one of the knights in World 1-2. Low chance of that, though, I would suggest. Alrighty. As you can see, I'm doing a bit more damage to these skeletons, and I do need to come through here. I'll just knock these guys down, I don't really care about them. They're not dying from the falling damage, no, it's not far down enough for that. I'm probably, actually, because I have the Thief's Ring, these rays aren't going to bother me too much, but if you don't have the Thief's Ring, just be aware of the fact that these rays flying around will almost constantly, not constantly, but whenever they pass you, they will definitely shoot some ranged attacks at you. Like, for instance, that one, if I didn't have the Thief's Ring on, definitely would have attacked me, so yeah, that's just worth mentioning. Now, the shortcut is pretty much here. No, I need to... You know, I always overthink this. It's actually a lot easier than that. You just fucking roll onto there like that. I'm always trying to give myself more distance to it, but You just roll straight off, like seriously. That's the Regenerator's ring. I may as well put that on because I don't really need the Cling ring right now, so why the hell not? The Regenerator ring, obviously, or Regenerator's ring, is obviously slowly recovering my health as time goes on. I'm trying to think if there's a Dark Souls equivalent to that, I'm not sure. There are a few things in... Actually, I really don't want to knock you off. This is one thing that was really great about Dark Souls, and that was that when you killed crystal lizards, you didn't actually need to gather from them to get their rewards. You just sort of killed them and then that was it. That was some Dark Moonstone that I picked up. But yeah, you would just get the reward for killing them and that was it. But in this game, of course, you have to go right ahead and collect from it. So that means if for whatever reason the body with the item falls off a cliff, that's gone. You're not going to get that. I just picked up Cloudstone there. Can't remember what Cloudstone does. If I can possibly recall... No, I've forgotten. It's pretty bad. That's how bad it is, you know. There's something about Demon Souls. It's just the information that I guess, learn about it just does not last. I just forget. But anyway, if we walk up here, it's not too difficult to do this, but you can get the Grave Robber's Ring, which is essentially... Actually, no, I'm thinking of the Clever Rat's Ring. What is the Grave Robber's Ring? Forgot what that did. Fuck, anyway, just don't worry. I'll be better at this stuff later on. Pressure plate, avoid that. I do have some magic here, and I will try... Actually, that's really dodgy. I was just considering whether or not to use magic on the Adjudicator, because what you can do is stand above the Adjudicator and fire magic at his head while you're above him. But the problem is that it's been so long since I've bothered to do that, I generally don't bother for the simple reason that he's such an easy boss that you don't really need to exploit him in that way. But at the same time, if I do that, he's probably going to whip me with his tongue and just almost kill me in one shot. So I actually think it would be the safer option to not do that and just fight him as normal on the ground. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Going to get into targetable distance and fire some fire. Fire some fire. That's called being articulate, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, some Half Moon Grass, 3 of that. I'm picking up a lot of Half Moon Grass. It's funny because I was complaining about not having Crescent Moon Grass, but to be honest, it's not going to do much for me at this moment in time. I might, just for the sake of demonstration, do 1 flame toss on his head, and then that'll be it. That was more than enough. And it didn't even make contact with him ridiculously enough, so... The deal with the Adjudicator is just attack that wound in his side. I believe that it's damage based, not based on the number of hits that you're actually dealing to him. At least I believe. So, if you have a faster attacking weapon like this, it's going to take roughly the same amount of time as if you had like a heavy slow moving weapon. It's not like if you have a heavy slow moving weapon, because you're not hitting it often, it's not going to do this as often as or as quickly I should say. It's damage based basically, is what I'm trying to say. The Adjudicator is a very simple fight, not to be, I guess, feared. All you need to do is look out for that big meat cleaver that he's got. That, by the way, is a very, very good quality weapon. That is the best quality weapon in the entire game, because it has an S scaling in both strength and dexterity. Like, I mean, how much better does it get than that? Like, come on. Of course, like, that's like the best fucking quality weapon in the entire series, to be honest. So, yeah, you can make that with this guy's soul. I'd love to kill you right now. Like, fuck, can I use magic on you? That was really dangerous. I should not have done that. Get in there, get in there. I fucking... Those were iframes, I can tell you. So, get away. Fuck me dead. Don't use magic, please. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get behind him quickly here. As you can see, he is grotesquely fat. Just absolutely foul how fat this guy is. And I remember asking in one of my Let's Plays, like, what the hell does this guy eat to become so absolutely fat? I just wish I knew. Or maybe I wouldn't want to know. I don't know, maybe the skeletons feed him. I'm sure there's some lore to this, and I wouldn't even doubt that it's in my art books or in my strategy guide or whatever the hell. But Anyway, I guess hold on, get out of the way of that. Yeah, as long as you're roughly to his right, you're kind of safe, I guess. It's mainly when you're directly in front where you're having a problem. Bouncing off his stupid hand, get out of the way. He never attacks you with that other knife that he has in his hand, so you don't have to worry about that too much. So, that is the Adjudicator for you. Very simple fight. The reason why I was considering whether or not I should be doing that is because I was a bit worried about the various enemies like the black skeletons, but the black skeletons are fine. Like, it's the gold ones that you have to be worried about, and I skipped them, fortunately. So I just got the... what's it called again? And that particular soul has a particular name. But anyway. Got to pour myself some whiskey again. White whiskey. But anyway. Everything seems to be going alright with the stream. The playback is pretty much the same as it was yesterday. It doesn't look incredible, but anyway. Hopefully that's just on my side. I have something in this glass. Anyway, it's like a little... I don't know what it is. It's a foreign object in my glass, but... what can I say? Of course, I won't be continuing on into World 4 2, because that is much further in the future. Not, like, hugely further, but I'll probably want to at least kill one Archdemon before coming to 4 2. And we're pretty far from that at this point. Now, you can't see the number of souls that I have right now, so I'm going to go and show you. And this is how I'm going to do it. So, like this, you can see the souls that I have. And I think that's a pretty reasonable thing for me to do for you. So, as you can see, it was 20,000 souls, which is a lot for this point in the game. Like, I haven't even leveled up yet. I'm going to be able to level up a lot with these souls. So, I'm going to see what I can consume here as far as souls. Okay, what I need to do is actually equip these so that I can consume them faster. And it's also going to give me less Japanese text options that I can't read. Anyway, so I believe that's the lead demon soul, and that is the swollen demon soul. So I'm not going to consume either of these two. The lead demon soul is used... no, what is that used for? There is a spell that is going to consume the lead demon soul. Or is it a miracle? It's used for something. Either way, I'm not going to consume it. But we are going to consume these individual souls that we pick up along the way. So yeah, I need to consider what I want to level up right now. Of course, anything that we level up is going to, as well, give us more physical defense, because that's how leveling up works in the Souls games. It's all about giving you more physical defense with every single upgrade that you have. So you're progressively getting better and better as time goes on, even if you're... let's say, for instance, you're leveling up something that's really not useful at all. Like, you're still getting some physical defense from that, so it's not entirely useless. Anyway, what we're going to do is suss that out right now. What do I want to level up right now? Because I don't know exactly how many level ups we can do. Probably between 10 and 15 with this number of souls. Keeping in mind we have not even leveled up once yet, and we have in excess of 20,000 souls. That's... yeah. So anyway, I need to make a decision on whether or not I want to focus on casting magic or going melee. Because basically when you're casting magic, you're obviously far away from the enemies. But if you're going melee, you're close to the enemies. So I don't know really what I want to do. I was about to say, oh, I can use the large sword of moonlight. Not really. That's a miracle weapon in this game, or a faith weapon. I'll be doing a faith build, of course. I have a lot of builds that I can do. But, well, maybe getting endurance up could be good. just to start with. Maybe we'll do intelligence until we get spell No, that's magic that gives us spell memory, yes. Because, you see, attunement slots in this game, unlike Dark Souls, which unified them, in this game, you have different slots for both magic and faith, which are acquired by actually leveling up the stat. So while you're getting more magic or miracle damage, you're also getting more slots in that. So, yeah, worth mentioning. And I don't really mind that system, that's alright. Yeah, thanks. So she's given us the blue eye and white eye Stein. I don't know what that means anyway. So, because I know what a stone is, but I don't know what a stone is. Like, no idea. We need to answer yes to her question. She's basically asking if we want to make use of her in the way of leveling up. So, of course, we do want to do that. Okay, time to make a decision. I'm full of shit, everyone. So basically, intelligence gives you spell memory. Leveling up magic does not, but leveling up faith gives you both miracle memory and miracle damage. Sorry. I thought it would be consistent, but obviously not. I thought that intelligence was just going to be MP, but no, clearly not. So I guess I was correct when I said that I will do intelligence until I get another spell memory slot. Then again, is that even necessary? I don't think I need 3 spells right now, so maybe I won't do that. I might just get up vitality just a bit. We'll do that once. Once again, here is a good demonstration of the fact that you are leveling up things individually with souls, no going back, which is a bit scary. I mean, because of course, this is why I'm hesitating so much. You guys who are not familiar with Demon Souls are probably going, why are you hesitating so much with this leveling up? It's because you need to actually know what you're leveling up before you do it. You're not given the opportunity to just add points into these various skills, then confirm that. It's not how it works. Which is, I will, as much as I love Demon Souls, and as much as I say that this is the best Souls game, I will not deny that that is not a good system. I think that the system that they developed in Dark Souls was really, really good. And I have always been of the opinion that the way that Demon Souls and Dark Souls interact is just incredible. Those are just 2 absolutely phenomenal games, and it blows my mind that From Software can come out with those 2 games next to each other. It's a really long story, to be honest, because how I feel about it is that, actually I can really sense that I'm going to go into a long discussion about it, but the long story, or the long and short of it is that, or just the short of it I should say, is that these 2 games are so incredible, yet so different from each other, that it is incredible that From Software could make 2 incredibly good games, and the second one, Dark Souls, does not even rely on what Demon Souls did well. They changed so many things. It's incredible what they did. So, yeah. One thing that Dark Souls, I would say, improved on, not just changed, and it's up for debate whether or not it's an improvement, this is definitely an improvement, I would say. The leveling up system is not very good in this game. I don't like it very much. As far as the stats, I think the stats are different, and therefore it's up for debate which one's better, but yeah, this is not good, this leveling up system. So, I don't know what I should be doing with strength, because of course I might need strength if I want to use certain weapons. But what weapons would I want to use in this build? You know what, for now, we'll leave strength and dexterity alone, because I've not yet worked out what weapons that I want to use in this build. So I'm not going to level them up unnecessarily now, because if I'm not going to need more than 9 strength and 11 dexterity, then it would be a waste to level them up now. But there's a very high chance I'm going to need more than that in at least one of those 2 stats. So for now, I might, and this is luck, by the way, this is a stat that I believe didn't make a return until Dark Souls 3, and I've always said since I've played Dark Souls 3, and I did make a video on this where I was pretty much professing my love for Dark Souls 3. I do have a lot of respect for that game. This was a great example of how much Dark Souls 3 was like a love story or a love letter to this game, Demon Souls. There was just so much that they brought back from Demon Souls, and that's why I was just so happy to play it. To this day, I can't believe they brought so much back from Demon Souls. And the worst thing about it is that 97% of the people who would have played Dark Souls 3, in fact probably a high percentage of that, would not even know that it came from Demon Souls. And yet, this game, in my opinion, is better. You can't beat the fact that it came out in the year 2009, and that it was just a fucking... I mean, I guess revolutionary, yeah. It was just this really amazing idea for a game. I mean, how can you get better than that, in my opinion? It's just so good. I love it. I love the Souls series. Except for Dark Souls 2, but that's another discussion. Look, I know that this is a bit of a long drawn-out leveling up sequence, but I would have been long done if this were Dark Souls, but no, that's not happening. Let me think. Vitality links with item burden. Now, item burden is a thing that only exists in Demon Souls and in no other game. I don't really like item burden. It basically means that you can't carry as many pieces of equipment or as many items in your inventory as you want, because all of those items have a weight to them. And if you reach a point where you have collected too much, you will not be able to pick up more, because that will overburden you. It's not like equip burden where you'll have your movement speed affected by it to the point where you eventually can't roll at all. Instead, it just deals in whether or not you can actually pick up an item. Once you reach that point where you can't pick up anymore, that's it. So you have to make use of the Herculean strength ring or something like that. But and I can actually get that ring right now, so I might do that in a bit once I have done this leveling up business. So how about we level up magic? I just can't think of what else I want to do right now. Let's take this to 20, why not? As you can see, we can level up a lot, so we can pretty much do that as we like. Let's take this to 15, I don't care anymore. And then endurance I want to take to 12. Now, I don't think I'm making a mistake here at all. I would say that our end strength stat might be 12, and then dexterity might be 16. Because I was thinking it would be a nice idea to make a magic scaling katana of some description. That would be pretty cool. And of course those require a lot more dexterity. The katanas that I'm referring to are the Uchigatana and the Hiltless. I'm pretty sure that the Hiltless can be infused with stones, so yeah. The Uchigatana is generally better than the Hiltless for the simple reason that the Hiltless will slowly but surely whittle away your health as you attack with it. It's not like the magical sword Makoto, which just slowly reduces your health as you have it equipped. The Hiltless will only reduce your health with each individual attack, so yeah. Now, let's put that into dexterity. We'll get you to 10. And that's it. That'll do for now. I need to work out what I want to do with those weapons that I was referring to, like for instance the Uchigatana. Maybe I want to do something with that. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you. What is the talk option? I think I was right about that being the talk option.
Would you?
Fuck yeah.
It's
I have mastered Japanese Demon Souls. We just received the Herculean Strength Ring by giving that guy the Jade Hair ornament that we picked up in World 1-1. And if you don't know how to do that, or you're confused, I don't believe you're using this as a walkthrough, that would be strange, but if you are for some completely bizarre reason, then yes, you can just look online and see how to get the Herculean Strength Ring, and you should be fine. Now, I wouldn't mind some sort of piece of headgear, because that would increase my defense a bit, but I guess for now we're okay. I guess we want to continue into World 1-2 at this point. I'm just going to keep the Regenerator's Ring equipped here. I don't really need anything else, that's fine. Oh yeah, a shield. And you know what, I'm going to put away that talisman, I don't really need it. Going to deposit. And, you know what, let's deposit these souls as well, shall we? This is the lead demon soul, isn't it? I believe so. Depositing those. These are things that we can consume. Yeah, right here. And then the second option is withdraw. The first is deposit, second is withdraw, to my knowledge. Oh, for a second I thought those two options were identical, because you can see all the characters are the same except for that one katakana character in between Wo and Care. So, anyway. So, we're doing World 1-2, I think. And I know that it's funny that the commentary is very fluid and consistent as we go along. But then once I have to start making decisions, it goes right down. It slows down like you wouldn't imagine. So, after that very long and arduous leveling up process, I would say that it is time now to go into World 1-2. I think that's fine, and it'd be great if I could actually select OK instead of cancel. The reason why I did that was because when I went to World 4, it did automatically have cancel selected, so the game's trying to trick me, long story short. This guy, Sage Frake, we will be rescuing soon. Actually, that's something that I wanted to do. I wanted to get Soul Arrow from Sage Frake's apprentice. Oh well. We don't really need it. Because Flame Toss generally does more damage than Soul Arrow, but the thing is, Soul Arrow casts faster, and I think it also has lower magic costs, so yeah. It's a pretty good little item to have, but and some people do make use of Soul Arrow during this boss for World 1-2 because they don't want to fight him by smashing his feet and all of that. I don't mind the feet combat, so you can see that I'm doing a lot of damage to these enemies at this point. It's so annoying because I'm like one hit away from one-shotting these guys, but it's just not good enough. It's so annoying. I'm getting a lot of stone from these guys, more than usual. Good luck. Can you stop? But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get another shield in this level. I might have a look and see what that merchant has for sale, because there is a merchant. The cicadas are really loud outside. This is the problem when it's summer. You just have the cicadas going like crazy outside, and it really does annoy me. If you think it doesn't annoy me, you're wrong. This is actually really interesting to mention. So I just attacked that guy's shield, but I did so much damage to him. The reason why is because that shield does not block any magic damage. It only blocks physical damage. So if you have a weapon like mine that's dealing magic damage, you'll still be able to do the majority of your damage while hitting your shield. So, and it also doesn't block all physical either, so that's worth mentioning. Anyway. So, what we're going to do is talk to Ostrava of Boletaria, who is just down this way. I don't think talking to him really achieves anything, but I may as well talk to him. Let's go ahead and do that. Should be just down in here.
Look at me. Clear up the look.
This guy is a bit useless. He keeps getting into trouble, and we're always helping him as we go through World 1. But anyway. It's very easy to keep on his quest line as well, right to the end, because he's not really hidden. You can really find him if you're, as long as you're not completely skipping through most of the area. I probably could have run there, but I decided against it, as you can tell. Alrighty. Lovely frames. Love it. Anyway. So yeah, either we'll be extremely lucky, and I don't think we will be, and we'll get the Knight Shield when we kill the Knights, or we'll just go and check that guy's store and see what he has for sale. You are bothering me. Get out of my face, sir. Thank you. I seriously hate those guys with the shields and the spears. They turtle you a lot, and it's like, ugh. Who has the patience for that crap? And I don't believe that there is any sort of kicking thing that exists. No, there's no kicking business. Anyway. Because of course kicking is very nice. Sort of. The only way that that exists, and I picked up a wooden catalyst, I think. Is that right? Yes, that's my... That's not a silver one, is it? No, it's not. Same characters in that name. Anyway. Yeah, the wooden catalyst, funnily enough, is actually better than the silver catalyst. There's something in your mind that thinks, huh, silver catalyst, wooden catalyst. Well, obviously the silver one's better, but it's not. So that's worth mentioning for anyone who thinks that the silver catalyst is superior. Now, we're going to head in this direction. This is the direction that you want to go if you want to talk to the merchant. Otherwise, there is no reason to go in this direction. Fun fact. I'm trying to think if there is... Still trying to think if there is a shield that I can pick up that I don't have to buy. And now that I realise, I have like no souls, so even if this guy does have a shield that I want, I'm not going to be able to buy it. So I guess at this point I'm just having a look to see if he has any shields that I want. But I'm not going to be able to actually buy one. But anyway, those dogs are actually really bad, and I dealt with them very easily, mainly because I'm doing a lot of damage with this weapon. So yeah, that's just worth mentioning. One thing that Dark Souls improved as well was backstabs, in the sense that they just look so much better in Dark Souls. They're a lot more satisfying. In this game, they look a bit janky, but anyway. So what do you have? Do you have a shield for me? You have kind of crap shields. I'm not really interested in these shields, to be honest with you. So, oh, I'll get the slave shield. I can't believe this guy sells the slave shield. That's insane. Who actually would have ever bought the slave shield? I just want a list of all the people in the history of Demon Souls who bought this slave shield, and I want to find out where they live and smack them, because that's just ridiculous. You would never. You would never. There's just no reason why you would do that. The only people who would have bought that slave shield were people who made a mistake when they were trying to buy something else. Anyway, so nothing of interest there, really. So I'll just continue on with this shield here, which I don't know the name of it, but anyway. It's just a shield. But anyway, you can have a look out here if you want. Bit of a view. The dragon's flying around. Lovely. Anyway, so we will head over to the opposite side now, because Ostrava of Boletaria is hanging around. And I should be checking the chat. Yes, Jinfurai, it is Demon Souls again. I'm so bad, I should be at least checking the chat. I know I don't have many viewers, but Jesus, if anyone is watching, then I should at least be watching the chat myself. But anyway. Of course, Jinfurai has been here since the beginning in the first live stream, but, you know, doesn't really mean much at the moment. It will one day when I've done 1,000 of these fucking things, but anyway. Please stop, guys. Seriously. Of course, I'm blaming them for their actions, but actually, like, that's standard. Of course, they're evil guys, they have crossbows, they're obviously going to attack me. What I should be doing is not complaining and just playing properly. But anyway. So, Ring of Gash Resistance, I believe that was not really going to be useful for us. Let me just make sure that that's Gash Resistance. I think it is, yes. So you can tell because it's red, it just means that you have resistance to bleeding. That's what Gash Resistance means, but I would say the name is fairly self-explanatory anyway. But
Thank you.
here is Ostrava. He's going to give us one single Dark Moongrass, I believe. I don't think he gave us more than one. No, he gave us 3. Good on him. So for those who are not aware, Dark Moongrass is the best grass in the entire game. It goes, from Dark Moongrass it goes down, goes Dark Moongrass, New Moongrass, Full Moongrass, Late Moongrass, Half, then Crescent. And New Moongrass will heal you full. So it will give you a full health, basically. It's essentially a divine blessing, but you can get multiple of them and consume them very fast. Then Dark Moongrass, the way in which that differs to New Moongrass is that it also cures your ailments. So let's say, for instance, that you have poison, or, well, not poison. I'm thinking of, like... Well, poison does exist in this game, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But does toxin exist? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, if you have an ailment like poison, of course poison exists. You've got the poison lake in World 5.2. And I'm like, fucking going, is there poison in this game? Once again, my memory is horrendous, but it will get better the more I play this game, don't worry. But the point is that if you have any sort of ailment like bleeding or poison, maybe plague. I don't know about plague with Dark Moon Grass. I'd like to say yes, but the point is if you do have an ailment, it will not only fully heal you, but it will also remove that ailment from your person, so that's worth mentioning. Dark Moon Grass is... you get it often enough. So in the late game, so around World 1-4, you get Dark Moon Grass fairly often. So you'll have a bit of it by the end, but not a huge amount. You'll have more New Moon, of course, because Dark Moon's pretty good. Where should I be standing to avoid you? That's fine. So having the Thief's Ring here actually makes a really big difference when it comes to these archers up here, because they are relentless if you don't have the Thief's Ring. They would be shooting me already. I mean, they're currently shooting me, but you know, they would shoot you really, really far back if you didn't have the Thief's Ring. Go for a parry on you. Is that a one-shot? Should be. Night Shield, Night Shield, Night Shield, Night Shield. I mean, the chances of that are so fucking low. But, yeah, the Night Shield's actually really difficult to get, to be honest. That's a partial parry. In the sense that I didn't actually get hit. That's also a partial parry, because I did get hit by that. But anyway, Half Moon again. I feel like I'm getting a lot of drops. It's almost as if I'm in... oh, I know why that is. It's because I died a few times here. Oh my god. They've actually got English here. What the fuck? I wonder why they do that. That's so interesting. So once again, this is the Japanese version. This is worth mentioning. So there's, as far as I know, there's no English version at this point. I don't know if at the moment that the Japanese version came out, the Asian versions with the English translation also came out. I really don't know. But it's very interesting that here I have... hold on. Hold on. So I have... yeah, okay, that's alright. Inventory, equipment, status, world tendency, system. But... as well as that, and that's kind of common in Japanese games, that you'll have little titles occasionally that are in English, but in this case that's pretty cool. So all of these names are not just something that, say, Atlas decided when they translated the game, or whoever translated the Asian versions of the game. This was in from the very beginning. And it is Tower of Latria, Stonefang Tunnel, Boletarian Palace, Valley of Defilement, and Shrine of Storms. But for the most part, I just refer to them as World 1, 2, 3, 4, because the funny thing is that Tower of Latria, these names really only refer to the first section of those worlds. So I don't like to refer to the world as a whole in that way, because for instance, Tower of Latria, you're only in that tower in the first level, so why would I call the entire world Tower of Latria? It just doesn't make sense. Makes more sense to number the world for me. Just gonna get out of the way of your big, your big shield. I thought you were gonna do your spear whack at me, but apparently not. Going to attack you. I was about to say, if you're not dead, I nearly shat. But anyway. So the Tower Knight is reasonably easy to deal with. I guess in the early stages of me playing through Demon Souls, he did intimidate me a bit, because you can see he's freaking huge. But if you play properly, he's alright. It's just you need to learn how to put distance between yourself and his shield as it comes crashing down on your freaking head. So that's all it's about, really. So the best thing to do here is to just attack all of these archers. They shouldn't bother me too much, even with the Thief's Ring, but I'm not taking any chances. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kill all of these archers. Good for souls as well, I mean, why not? If they're dropping items, then I don't really care. I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to avoid his little soul spear. Yes, it does partially penetrate through the rock wall, or the stone wall. Rock wall. Anyway. But it's not going to actually hit you. We'll start with this foot one. Whoa, I'm doing a lot of damage. That's courtesy of my magic damage, I would assume. Now, the foot is only completely broken when you see the... no. When you actually see the armor break, as it just did there, so... Cicadas are back again. I do apologise for that. I mean, I would love to just call out the window and say, shut up, and they'll shut up, but it's not going to happen, so... If you can understand, there's not much I can do about that. In post-processing, of course, or in editing in general, I am able to just cut that out completely, but no, can't do it at this point. Because, of course, I use Audacity's background noise removal, which is actually really good. It's actually so good. It doesn't mess with your vocal audio at all, really. It doesn't make it sound like crap or anything like that, so yeah. That is the Tower Knight dead. Yeah, the frame rate drop. That happens a lot in Demon Souls. This is one thing that kind of stops people from playing Demon Souls and Dark Souls on consoles at the very least. Of course, you've got no choice but to play Demon Souls on a console at this point. That will, of course, change once they get a bit of emulation happening for PS3, and I haven't really been keeping up to date with that anyway. Maybe it's good now, I'm not sure. But definitely with Dark Souls, it's the same. I would say a little bit worse in Dark Souls, because you have areas like Blighttown, which were just horrendous on console. Probably even worse on PS3, you know, and I was a PS3 player of Dark Souls for the most part. I played a little bit on Xbox 360, but not much at all. But anyway. You do get some frame drops from time to time in this game, and I'd say, if you pretended that Blighttown didn't exist in Dark Souls, I'd say these two games would be equivalent in terms of the frame drops that exist. But anyway, that is World 1-2 taken care of. Now, generally what I do from this point on is move into World 2-1, and then finish off the entire Archstone. I've been streaming for almost an hour. I could easily knock off that entire Archstone in about an hour. But I might stream for 3 hours today. We'll see. We do have the Maiden in Black just sitting there, sort of relaxing a little bit, I suppose. But I need to first and foremost consume these individual souls. As you can see, the last one here is the... what do you call it? The Iron Demon Soul is what it's called. The reason why I'm going to be putting these souls in is because I don't want to accidentally consume them. That's actually, you know what, that's not true. Because before you consume an actual demon soul, it will give you a yes or no option to see whether or not you're actually going to consume that. So I wouldn't actually do that accidentally, fortunately, because it does have that yes or no thing going on. But at the same time, it's just less confusing. I don't have to go, alright, so this is a demon soul, like, particularly starting with the lead demon soul, because, or the lead demon soul. I've always wondered if it's the lead demon soul or lead demon soul. I'm pretty sure it's lead, for the simple reason that he's like the leader, so it's pretty simple. But yeah. It's just a little bit easier to organize things if I put those souls in the Stockpile Thomas storage area. And Stockpile Thomas is a pretty good bank system, really. Just a normal bank system, does the job pretty well, and yeah. So the best thing about grass is that as long as you're not using a shitload of it, you can use one level of grass, and then by the time you've run out of that grass, you'll be at the point where you want to be using the next level anyway, because you've got more health. And then by that time as well, you've amassed a lot of that next level of grass because you haven't been using it. That's the ideal scenario. If you're shit at the game and you're healing a lot, not so much, but I'm not amazing at the game right now, but hey, I'm not that bad, so I'll be able to use Half Moon Grass until I've more or less used it all up, and then I'll move on to Late Moon Grass, at which time, as I indicated, should be necessary for me to do that, so... And Dark Moon, this is just going to sit in my inventory forever. I'm never going to really need to use this, so... Yeah, anyway. As you can see, Ostrava of Boletaria is now sitting in the Nexus with us, and we can just sort of talk to him if we want to. I don't really want to talk to him, he's really got nothing of interest for me to hear. That foreign object just went into my mouth. I'm sure it was nothing too bad. Watch me get cancer tomorrow. So, more, of course. Love that sound. Anyway, so don't worry about me. So yeah, I think we're going to go and take on World 2. I'm really interested in getting a better shield, to be honest. But probably due to my poor memory of the game, I just can't remember what other shields exist that I can actually pick up. Maybe I'll be lucky and I'll just get one. So let's just continue, shall we? Actually, before I do that, as I was wanting to... Oh no, hold on. I need to actually level up as well. So there are two things that I need to do. First and foremost, which is what I wanted to do before I went into World 1-2, but forgot. I want to get Soul Arrow, which is going to be useful for this area because I'm pretty sure that most of the enemies here are fire resistant. So that's going to be good. as well as that, I'm going to frickin' level up, so let's go do that.
Then touch.
Okay, so what are we leveling up now? I guess we'll put some points into dexterity, or 1 point. I don't have the balls to put another point in. We'll do endurance. I think it's time for endurance to go up. Get that to 15 next. And then I'll leave it alone for a little bit. Okay, so this is Sage Frake's apprentice. And he is going to be selling us a few spells. Now, this here is Soul Arrow. That's a pretty good projectile-based magic, which we're going to be using in a moment. We're going to basically replace that water veil thing. This is... I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's called Decoy, I think. Basically, it creates a sound far away from you. Well, not that far away from you, but I'm trying to remember if you can actually aim that or not. But basically, it creates a sound which attracts the enemies. And so therefore, if you position it right, you can just move them away from you and it allows you to get past them. But I just don't have a use for that because, I mean, if you wanted to make use of that, it would probably be so that you didn't have to fight enemies. But I'm not doing that kind of sneaking around enemies sort of thing, because if I don't kill the enemies, I'm not going to get souls, and if I don't get souls, I'm not going to be able to level up. So, of course, my intention is not to sneak past the enemies, but rather kill them. So, anyway. This is Enchanted Weapon. This just adds magic damage to your physical weapon. Now, you can only use weapon enchantments, of course, if the weapon is not like a special demon weapon. I'm pretty sure like demon weapons that are upgraded through colorless demon souls can't be enchanted or anything like that. You have Enchanted Sword, Light Sword, and Cursed Sword. I believe that those are the correct terms. Probably not, but you know what I'm referring to anyway. Light Blade, Cursed Blade, I think that's what it's called, not Sword. But anyway, this is protection. There is a much better version of this spell. All this is, it just creates a protective barrier around you and increases your physical defense, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't increase any other defenses to my knowledge, it's just physical. But the better version of this soul actually uses the Iron Demon Soul, and we have to go to Sage Frake for that. It's called Warding, and it is insane. It pretty much cuts all the damage. You see it a lot during the King Allen boss fight, because of course King Allen does a lot of damage. And you just put on that Warding and you're done. You're not going to have a problem. If you die with Warding, there's something severely wrong. It's just a really good spell. It's what you would refer to as broken. It's why it hasn't existed in any of the other games since. I guess the closest to that would be Iron Skin from Dark Souls. But remember, Iron Skin was patched so that you could barely move with it. So it went from being like this really good spell, actually it was a pyromancy, to being something you wouldn't want to use on your life. You wouldn't do it on a bet, basically. So yeah, anyway, all we wanted there really was Soul Arrow, and there is a better version of Soul Arrow called Soul Ray. You don't actually upgrade the spell, you just get a completely different spell that will ultimately replace Soul Arrow. It's called Soul Ray, and that's acquired through the Doll Demon Soul, which is from the boss of World 3-1, which is just up there, Tower of Latria. So, pretty easy one to get for the most part. It is a really good replacement for Soul Arrow because Soul Ray is piercing. So if you get a line of enemies and you fire a Soul Ray, it goes straight through all of them, it's great. Anyway, where is... Oh, we want to talk to you for attunement as well, obviously. So I believe we... No, that's talking. I think I do attunement through the guy here. God, fucking Japanese. Anyway, so... There we go. So we're going to remove Water Veil and instead do Soul Arrow.
Be careful.
Easy done. Swear to God, it's actually really dodgy when you can't read anything. Anyway, so... Yes, we're going to go ahead and level up. And... I don't have any souls because I've already leveled up. And the best thing is you guys can't see that because, check this out. I don't really have any souls there. Oh, it's kind of... Oh, there we go. It was dark there because the woman was talking, but anyway. I just hope that removing my video capture device, which is the webcam, and then bringing it back doesn't fuck up with the syncing at all. It probably does. I really hope that it doesn't. For those of you watching, let me know if my vocal audio is out of sync with my webcam. That's a problem that I was having in the previous video. It has to do with OBS. It's bothering the shit out of me. So if you could let me know if that is happening, then yeah, I'd just like to know, I suppose. But anyway, it's pretty much, it's an intermittent problem. It's like that for a bit, and then it goes back to normal, and then it'll be a problem again. But anyway. So, I think we're ready to go into the Stonefang Tunnel, is that right? Oh, I just fell. Let's go back up around, and just go in. Let's not even question it, we'll just go now. There isn't much preparation that needs to be done. So, I got started a little bit earlier with the stream today compared with yesterday, so I think that's the reason why I'm going to be doing 3 hours today. I did say that I wasn't going to do more than 2, but I think 2 isn't really enough, really, if you're looking at live streams. I think it's best to do 3, and then have that. Well, not best to do 3, but if you're going to have a limit, 3 is probably the better limit. This is the Filthy Man, and he... excuse me, fuck. Just a bit gassy. Seriously, like, I hate that, but I can't cut it out. It's live. Anyway, so, this is the Filthy Man. He sells the basic levels of Hardstone and Sharpstone, which is really important for the early game. Because if you're out a few Sharpstone when you're trying to level up your weapon earlier on, this is really, really useful. This guy right here, if you know about him, that's going to help a lot. So, yeah, worth mentioning. Gonna go kill this guy. Please die. This attack is going to be better because it has a vertical effectiveness there. Alrighty. He gave us some hardstone, which is alright. You know what I should have done? I'm an idiot. I should have been putting away this stuff because the stones, and this is really important, the stones weigh you down a lot. Okay, Shadow. That's really annoying. Good to know. Thanks for letting me know. It's not just you. It's OBS being severely retarded. I have made OBS the top priority in my PC processors right now. The one way in which I can possibly fix it, I don't think it will make a difference. Actually, no, I can't close my browser because I think that's required for streaming. So I was thinking, because you see, Chrome is really heavy as a process, especially when you have a lot of tabs open like I do. But anyway, it shouldn't be an issue with the PC. I have an i7 7700K. And OBS still doesn't want to fucking work properly. It's like, well, great. What the fuck do I need to run OBS smoothly? Like, what do you do? There's always some sort of problem from time to time when you're trying to record, but yeah, that's life. So, I don't really have any piercing weapons, but because one thing that's important to mention with these guys is that they don't take much slashing damage. However, they will probably take a lot of magic damage. So the fact that I don't have a piercing weapon does not really matter with these guys because I'm not purely dependent on physical damage. So, yeah, that's good. I'm able to kill these guys nice and fast. But, yeah, this particular Archstone section, so 2-1, is really, really easy to go through. It's not considered like at the level of, say, 4-1. I would say 5-1 and 2-1 are the easiest to go through. I would recommend that if you want to do some earlier Archstones to build up your soul count, definitely, or earlier Archstone sections, world sections, whatever you want to say, I would definitely say 5-1 and 2-1. 5-1 might surprise some people who aren't familiar with the Soul series. They're probably thinking, the 5th world? Come on, isn't that super difficult? No, not actually, not 5-1. 5-1 will fuck you up a little bit, but not... It doesn't have so much to do with the amount of defense that you have as a character. It has more to do with the fact that the frickin' enemies are pushing you off the edge, and it's also easy to get lost in there if you're not familiar with the locations. So it's the actual enemies themselves aren't doing much damage to you, it's just other bullshit that can mess you up. Plus, if you see that stupid item surrounded by the rats, you'll go and try to pick up that item, which by the way is only Crescent Moon Grass, and you'll get the plague. So pretty much the way they balanced out 5-1 was that if you know what you're doing there, you can go through relatively easily with low defense. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get severely punished, most likely. So 5.1 is good if you're familiar with the game. If you're not, maybe not. But most people probably wouldn't try 5.1 earlier on anyway, can you not? This guy has a fair amount of defense. I don't know if he has good magic resistance or he just has a lot of defense, I really don't know. I might go Soul Arrow you, because after all it is a magic build. Trying to see if I had actually applied bleed to him. I don't think I did, but it looked like he was losing health as time went on. Anyway. So yeah, that is a problem with OBS that I'll have to try and address. I don't know how to even go about addressing that, because I thought that I had done everything that I could. There was some other option that involved removing time codes, so I think OBS has some sort of time code process that exists, and if I disable that, it'll help with the syncing. That's what I saw, but I haven't worked out how to actually access that option right now, so I'll do that by the next video. As Shadow said, it's not hugely noticeable, so probably I've done myself a disservice by actually mentioning it, because now you can notice it a little bit more, but what can I do? As I said, it's an intermittent problem, so it'll go back to normal in a bit if it's still not right, but anyway. There's not much I can do about it. It's OBS being stupid. I mean, seriously, what more do you want from me? Anyway, so what we can do here is go to this fat official who is on the bridge, and it's important to mention that the bridge is going to collapse, so stay on this side of the bridge. Done. Do not fireball me in the face. I've actually got decent defense because I've leveled up a bit with these souls, so it makes a difference. Because it's worth mentioning that in this game, you can't actually level up your armor. That was new to Dark Souls, which is something that most people probably would not expect to be new in Dark Souls, like leveling up armor. That's pretty normal. He is bleeding, yep. So maybe we'll just let him bleed to death for fun. But yeah, seriously, that was a great thing for Dark Souls. I was really happy when they introduced that, because I was always wondering when I was first going through Demon Souls whether or not I could level up my armor, and I was kind of disappointed to find that I couldn't do that in any way. You know, the armor that I got was just as it was. Hurry up and die, mate. There you go. Fat bastard. Anyway, so yeah, Dark Souls was the first game to have armors that could be leveled up. Now, it's just important when you're coming through the game to kill the trolls with the bags, and there are a few of them around. There's another one coming up through here, not this guy, but just a little bit further on, I think. There is a guy with a bag, and the reason why they're really useful is because they drop a lot of stuff. Actually, maybe there isn't one with a bag here, I don't know. I thought there was, but I guess I'm wrong. No, there is one. Here he is. So he has a bag full of stones, and it's just really useful to get them. So here we go. You can see that we've got large sharpstone there. We've got one large sharpstone. So, for instance, it's just so important to get that, because it saves you from either not knowing where to get it, or just not having it and going, oh, I don't have it, this is annoying, or something like that. I mean, I don't know, if you're like that, then I guess I've done a good impression of you, but if not, then... See this ghost? You saw that? You guys fucking saw that. I'm gonna watch right now on the replay to see if you can see that, because I could see that. Because I was trying to suss out whether or not there was online. See? There's a ghost pulling the fucking thing. Come on, mate. So I wonder if it's only partially online right now. Yeah, first live streams are the hardest, because you're just trying to work out what the hell you're doing. And I would say, to be honest, that the first stream before was pretty good. I would say that it was mainly problem-free. But OBS is just not being the most accommodating to me right now, but what can you do? Definitely there will be some problems present. Oh, I forgot to get that item. Okay, let's just go back and get that. But yeah, the thing with OBS is that I would say that for free software, it's pretty solid. Like, I haven't really had any problems with it as far as working out what to do. Like, it doesn't confuse me. It's really user-friendly, and I think that is pretty good. And as well as that, things like the chroma key are so good. Like, the chroma key looks great. On Vegas Pro, which is what I use for my Let's Plays and stuff, the chroma key looks like dog shit. So, like, and you know how fucking expensive Vegas Pro was? Like, I know my Vegas Pro 12 version is probably like from 8 years ago. But at the same time, like, that was still worth like $500 back then. So it's amazing that OBS just has a great chroma key, for instance. So it's a good piece of software in that sense, and once again, it's very user-friendly. But it's having some problems with my syncing at the moment, so that is a frustration. Anyway, now that we have gone and picked up those items, and to be honest, I didn't even see what they were. It was probably more stone, I would say. So if I see what we've got, oh, this is spider stone. So this spider stone, I believe, is used for critical weapons. No, that's sucker stone, isn't it? What the fuck is spider stone for? I believe that spider stone is for bows. There is a upgrade path that is only for bows, I think, and it's spider stone. No, sorry, I'm thinking of something else. This is for sticky weapons, is that right? You know, my memories are all jumbled up. Moral of the story is that there are a lot of different stones in this game, and remembering what they all do can be a challenge if you just let yourself completely forget what's going on, like me. But anyway, be very careful of these lizards. They hurt. Because what they do is they jump on you and you get immolated, and it's rough. It's not really that fun. But anyway, what we're going to do is avoid the room that's just up here, because I just talked about the fact that the fire lizards are really, really dangerous. And that is Dragonstone over there. Now what Dragonstone is pretty much the I don't know what I'm doing in Demon Souls upgrade path, where you have no scalings on your weapon, you get some fire damage, and you wreck everything. So I'm not doing the dragon path, if you don't mind. So, yeah. If you want to do it, go for it. It's a good way to learn Demon Souls, because you don't have to worry about extra things like upgrading your stats correctly, or leveling up your weapon properly, things like that. But it's, yeah, not something you want to rely on for too long. There comes a point where you need to take the training wheels off, you know. Anyway, these guys with the hammers hurt. FYI. I wonder what he dropped. That's Greystone. So Greystone is used for the crushing path. Can you stop? I said that he hurt, but he's actually not too bad for me. Anyway. Go and pick up all of that. That's a lot. I mean, look at that. Holy shit. That's 9 hardstone. Anyway, this must be weighing me down a lot. So what I'm actually going to do, for the sake of avoiding being over encumbered in terms of item weight, I'm going to go and create the shortcut. And this is how you create the shortcut. You go down here, and I don't know if you recognize this down there. The Filthy Man is down there, and the Archstone is just down that staircase thing. I don't want to say staircase, but down the stairs, long story short. And now we have the ability to come back up to where we just were from that point. And using this elevator as well, we can also gain access to Blacksmith Ed. I knew I would fucking do that. I fucking knew that I would do that. You know, dropping in this game is what kills you. And it's what kills me. I don't die quite so much from fighting enemies, but when I want to drop somewhere, fuck yes, I'm dead. Do I even have a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes? I have not been keeping track of that. I do not, but that's alright, because I think that I can get one soon. There's one near where the primeval demon spawns, I think, just down over that way, so I'm probably going to go and grab that. First and foremost, I'm going to grab my souls, because I think I had a lot. Gonna roll. Fucking shit. So I had 2,340, which isn't that much, but anyway. So what I'm gonna do is go and grab that. Oh, please. No. Next one. Just have to edge off. Ugh. It's so easy to just move too much. So I'm going to roll here. Uh-oh. That was dangerous. I shouldn't have rolled even. I should have just walked off, because that would have pushed me so far forwards anyway, so yeah, that was a pretty bad death. I wasn't really impressed with that, but I'm not upset, because it's so typical of Demon Souls for me to die in that way. It's not through the enemies, it's through the frickin' falling system that they have. So typical of Demon Souls. I say falling system. Oh, here we go. Obviously, I was one rock too early to start moving. But I say falling system in that when you move for... Oh, I need to actually turn this. But yeah, you pretty much slowly glide down. It feels so weird. It's difficult to describe, but once you've tried to drop down on something in this game, you'll understand. And it's really quite a special thing when you try it. Once I'm used to it, you see how I had plenty of distance there just by walking forwards. Don't need to roll. Rolling is what kills you, don't frickin' roll. That item down there is a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, to my memory, so we're going to go ahead and get that and use it. Not immediately, but later. Once I'm ready to continue with the rest of this level and fight the boss. For now, I'm going to return to the Nexus and not level up because I don't really have enough souls to warrant that, but I am going to put away all of that stone that I've acquired because it must be weighing down my item burden a lot. In fact, I'm going to try and have a look and see if that's the case. Item burden is 10.5 out of 43. Fuck it. 10.5 out of 43. I could carry so much more than what I'm carrying right now. It's insane. That is unbelievable. Do you guys want to see how much stone that I'm currently carrying? Like that? Like that's a lot. Anyway, I'm getting hit by stones. Speaking of stones, so let's get out of here. What the hell? Because you see that those two stats, the ones with the strokes that are underneath the MP, HP, and stamina, the first one is item burden, the second one is equip burden. 10.5 out of 43. Fuck me dead. Anyways, so I don't know. Obviously, I was really, really overestimating the amount of weight. But anyway. Whatever. So now that I have passed that very, very evil section of the game, which is riding the elevators, I'm going to use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. This is how the life and death system works in Demon Souls. You basically die and then you are dead, and when you recover your soul, so for instance in Dark Souls you have the humanity system. It's completely different in this game. All you need is a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, and there you go, you're back to full health. So anyway, actually what I should have done, that was a poor decision. I just wasted a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, because what I should have done is I should have held off on actually using that and instead used the Cling Ring and then allowed the killing of the boss to revive me, because that's what happens when you kill a boss. And I believe it's the same in, it's the same in Dark Souls as well. When you kill a boss while being hollowed, you are then revived after that, because you sort of steal the soul of the creature you kill, which is kind of crazy, but anyway. I'm going back to you. Oh, just about to have a drink and then you're appearing out of nowhere. Bloody hell. Give me a break. Anyway. So we'll take care of you. We're going to see what this is. Hardstone again. Is that large hardstone or just hardstone? Large hardstone. Okay. Get away from you. So the levels of stone, for those who are not aware, are hardstone, large hardstone. I'm using hardstone as an example. Chunk of hardstone, then pure hardstone. So it goes regular, large, chunk, and then pure. Pure is pretty much the same as, for instance, Titanite Slab. You only need one, and it will be the final upgrade, basically. Just killing this guy, don't mind me. A bunch of spider stone that I'm probably not going to need, because... No, I was right. Spider stone, I'm pretty sure, is used for bows. It is called sticky, and I don't know how... Maybe it gives you more dexterity for bows? Or more of a dexterity scaling. I just can't remember. I'm just pretty sure that I'm right about it being for bows. With this, I can't even remember if this is worth it. Let's just say that it's worth it. A soul, club, and that. Now, is that just called the regular club? I can't remember. If that, maybe it's the spiked club or something like that. It's pretty good for strength. So if you're a strength build, I would recommend doing that. If you're not a strength build, probably a waste of time. Unless the soul that I picked up there was reasonably good for giving you individual souls, then yeah. But I don't know. Actually, well, what was it that I picked up? I'm not even sure. I just don't know. It's all in Japanese. Anyway, so regardless, we've gone and our adventurous side resulted in us having to backtrack, so whatever. Now we know. Maybe I'll try to retain that information now and finally learn something in this frickin' game. Anyway. As you can see, when I roll through the barrels, massive frame drop. But for the most part, the game's alright, you know. Not too many frame drops. Oh, that's right, the steel shield is down here. Now, I'm not going to use the steel shield. It's too heavy for this build, so I'll avoid that. But, it's just here. Here it is. And, for instance, if you had Soul Ray, this would be a great time to use it. It would just fire right through these enemies, kill them all. But here I have to fight them individually, which is a little annoying, but not too difficult. For some reason it's one-shotting some of these enemies, but then others are not being one-shot. I don't know what the hell the variable is here for the damage, but I wish I knew. I'm actually so confused. Why the hell are some of them dying in one shot and then others aren't? That is a... what is that? What is that? Is that a short sword? Maybe it's a short sword. There's something... I mean, the hilt looks really nicely designed. Look at that. I love that design. Yeah, it's a short sword, because the first item, well, the first weapon that I have there is the short sword. And that's what I was using at the start, because that's what this character came with, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm sort of leaning back in my chair a bit too much. Let's sit up a bit. Anyway, so, what was I using? Crescent Falchion +1. Let's go and equip that. Anyway, so as far as leveling up Crescent weapons, that's something that I need to work out soon. I can't remember if I need regular stone for that. I'm pretty sure that I need either Moonlight Stone or Dark Moonstone. Either or. So what I'm going to do... oh my god, I'm fucked. Get the fuck out of there. Thank god I've got good defense, seriously. Because that would have really been a bad situation. Like, if you're sandwiched in between fire lizards, bad time. Really bad time. You can see that my poor play is resulting in a lot of health loss, so I need to try and not play like an idiot, if I can possibly manage that. I'm still kind of annoyed about that Stone of Ephemeral Eyes and me wasting it. I really didn't need it for the rest of this, as you can see. I mean, even though I took a lot of damage there, I mean, come on. I can play well enough to not need the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes to go through the rest of 2-1. I mean, come on. Can you maybe attack me and get... I fucking hate dogs. Dogs are bad in all games that they appear in. And the Soul series loves dogs, as you know. Ugh. Can you stop? Fucking dogs. I just absolutely despise them. I'm going to go and use a Crescent Moongrass. It doesn't warrant the use of Half Moon right now. Haven't lost enough health for that. That is Ed's Grindstone. I got 2 of those. That is essentially Repair Powder. And not the Dark Souls 2 Repair Powder that does fuck all. The good Repair Powder that just restores the entirety of your weapon's durability. So, anyway. And as far as I know, returning to the Nexus does not actually return your weapon to full durability. I'm pretty sure that's correct. It's currently at 87 out of 120, so we'll be alright for now. I'll have to check that though. I don't believe that returning to the Nexus will restore durability. Pretty positive that it doesn't do that. So... lots of enemies down here. And none with bags, I don't think. None that I'm aware of. Oh, there is one with a bag. You know, seriously, don't trust me. Fuck. Do not trust me. I specifically said that I don't think there is one with a bag, and there was one with a bag. So, seriously? take my advice to an extent, but take it with a grain of salt, please. Because if you don't, then you're probably going to hate me. Anyway. I'll actually watch this cutscene. Because I want to drink. Anyway, so at this point we are going to need to return to a place that I should have demonstrated before. Basically, and because I've gone through this area so many times, I didn't even think to demonstrate this, but where we actually want to go at this moment is right here. Before we could not go here because it was all lava and fire and all of this business, but now that the water has gone and poured here, we can go through here. So minor backtracking, but not too much. That ring, what the hell does that do? Poison resistance. Anyway. Might be useful for World 5. But I always forget to use it, so. Always, without fail, I will forget to use the poison ring in World 5. So I will almost assuredly forget it this time as well. As I'm playing through the game. Actually, let's get the fuck out of here. Come on, explode it. Come on, my friend. Come on! Let's go. Yeah, come on, yeah. Don't be shy. I'm right here. Okay. So, best thing to do is use this here as a shield for you. Just block his fire with this. Then move back in. The worst thing about the Fat Official is that when he's doing his attack animations, whether it be with that stupid crop or with his fire, he is not in any way going to be flinched by your attacks, and it's really frustrating because that's the thing with the Souls series. Sometimes a method of combat is to flinch enemies out of their attacks, but in this case, doesn't work. That is another Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. The one thing about the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes that I find to be a little bit gross is that it looks like a brain. But anyway, let's just avoid thinking about that because it's gross. So this guy does fall down and he will chase you if you don't actually allow yourself to attack him, but allow yourself the time to attack him. But anyway, I believe that there's an item up here. If I go to a higher level, because basically at this point I can go and use this to go down. But if I go to a higher level, I can go and pick up this item over here. It's just that I can't remember what it is, so I need to decide whether or not it's worth picking up in the future if I do remember to do this. That is called the... Is it the Chris? I don't know if that's the Chris or not. It's not the Stiletto, is it? It's the Chris, I think. Anyway, I never use it, like, seriously. Even with dexterity builds, I don't. It's a good critical weapon, I guess, because it's piercing. So, if I can see it. Well, where's the critical damage? Does it show critical damage? It should. Because that... I can't see if it's saying critical damage. It should be, basically. Is what I'm trying to say to you. Anyway, we've been streaming for about an hour and 33 minutes, so. What do I want to do? Do I actually want to do the full 3 hours? Because to be honest, 2 hours feels like a long time to stream. So, I don't know, it depends on how I feel. If I feel like I want to, you know, we're not even going to do it like that. It's not going to be a situation where I reach 2 hours, not reach 2 hours. When I reach 2 hours, no. When I do reach 2 hours, I'm not going to therefore lock myself into 3 hours if I want to continue. I'm going to continue for as much as I want and then stop. If that's less than 3 hours, then easy. So, it doesn't have to be so strict, Doomlink. Anyway. Some more spider stone here. I think that's a chunk of spider stone. Once again, pretty sure that that's related to bows. If not, then go look online and prove me wrong. I say that to encourage you to give me information without me having to look at it myself. Anyway, so pretty much best way to deal with this guy is to go melee, I would say. You can use magic if you want, but I think it's easy to go melee, even with this shit shield, to be honest. Oh, I was too close. Okay, let's take a step back. Pretty much what you want to do with the armor spider is always stay in the center, because when she does this attack, that's a great opportunity for you to hit her. And if you are not in the center, that will be a problem, because you'll get hit by that attack. That's very annoying. When she's doing this, just go right back to the fog gate. You would be surprised how far that reaches, so... Anyway. Avoid the web. And then melee some more. When she's ready, of course. Actually, I could use magic in this time. That's probably the best way to do it, actually. Now melee. Two-handed. May as well min-max. Or just let yourself get hit like an idiot. Many options, of course. Alright. And here we go again. Patience is required for this boss indeed. Generally you will have to deal with this twice. If you're doing it more than twice, then you're probably not doing much to the boss. Rightio. I got webbed. When you get hit with the fire, it will remove the web as far as I know. Like if you actually let the fire hit you, actually maybe shielding it also works. That's true. And so returneth the cicadas. So if you are wondering what that weird ass background noise is, it is cicadas, so anyway. Not much I can do about them, really. I wish there was more I could do, but there really is not. Anyway. Let's finish off whatever we have here. Time for shot number 5 and 6. Because I'm pouring doubles here, and when it comes to whiskey, it's best to do it in singles. Because otherwise, what they say is that the whiskey can't breathe if you put too much in the glass. That's about it. I mean, how much is that? Some would say that that's a double. I don't know what it is, to be honest. Because I haven't measured it ever in this particular glass. I've never measured it, because I don't actually have a shot measure. So, I think it's a double, but anyway, if it's not, then I don't care. I don't keep track of how much I drink. Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. Anyway. And for those who are not aware, and are probably going, what do you mean whiskey? That's white. That looks like water. It's actually, it's called Manx Spirit. It's, this here. It's... Come on, focus. It doesn't want to focus. Long story short, it's 40% alcohol per volume, or by volume, and it is whiskey. And it tastes like whiskey, but some will say that it's not, because it's, what they do is they filter out some of the ingredients of, well, not the ingredients, but something within the distillation process is different, so I don't know. I don't know anything about it, except that some people say that it's whiskey, some people don't. Now, am I continuing to the Flame Lurker? This is the question. Well, I can say to start with that I'm not really in the mood to go through 2-2, and I hate that 2-2. Like, it's annoying to say that because it's like the repeating numbers. But anyway, I'm not really in the mood to go through it normally. I would prefer to take the shortcut, which is where instead of going to the left, you go to the right, and you drop down, and you're pretty much straight in front of the Flame Lurker. It's pretty much the difference between a level section taking 15 minutes and taking 40 minutes. So generally I like to take the shortcut because I've done the proper way so many times that at this point I'm just going, hey, I'll just do the shortcut. It's better. Of course, if you go the right way, you get more items, more I think you get a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes as well when you fight those Black Phantom NPCs. And then you also get more souls, obviously, because you're fighting more enemies, so it really depends on what you want. I think at this point I've achieved a pretty high soul level for this point in the game, so I don't really need the souls right now, so I should be alright. Anyway. It's not as hot today. It was really hot yesterday, but now that I say that, it's gone up in temperature a lot. It was really hot yesterday, but I wasn't dying yet. Like, I was close to death, but not quite there. Right now, I'm getting almost to the level that I was at yesterday, because it started off, because I started streaming at around 9 in the morning. It's now about 11:30. Well, anyway, I don't know if that's correct or not, but point is, it might have been 9:30 when I started streaming, I don't know. But, although, no, that's probably correct. The point is that, it wasn't as hot then as it is now. Now it's really freaking hot, and I'm dying, and I would welcome death as a release from this shit. But yeah, if any of you don't know me, I hate the hot weather, I prefer the cold weather, and here I am in Australia of all frickin' places. It's summer here, well it's winter for you, so sad times. Now, what am I doing? Leveling up. So, let's go and bank the spiders. No, what's it called? The demon soul is called the armor spider demon? No. I cannot remember what it's called. It has a special name. Because the demon souls are never the same as the actual boss that you fight. They always have their own separate names. So, if I can possibly remember what that name was, that would be phenomenal. Hard Demon Soul. It's called the Hard Demon Soul, that's what it is. See, I wasn't bullshitting you, I was able to remember it. You're probably thinking, oh yeah, right, Doomlink, you're really going to remember that. No, I did. Actually, maybe you weren't thinking that. Maybe that was my internal dialogue. Anyway. It is hot. And my fan is too far away and I'm too lazy to go and turn it on, so I will just sit here and suffer. That is fine. So, let's go ahead and Half Moon. I haven't needed to use Fresh Spice, I don't think. Not even once. Because I haven't been using magic that much. And some of you might complain about that. Some of you might think, well, I'm watching a magic build, why are you using magic, Doomlink? Okay, well listen, this is not how I do magic builds so much. I use magic as something to cast, as like an additional secondary means of fighting enemies. What I prefer is to have weapons that scale with magic, like this Crescent Falchion +1, which I need to work out how to upgrade. I believe that that's either going to be Moonlight Stone or Dark Stone, or Dark Moonstone, sorry. I do have Dark Moonstone, but I don't have Moonlight Stone. And this here is Dark Moonstone. I have 3 of that. So, for instance, if the Crescent Falchion requires Dark Moonstone, I'll be able to upgrade that right now through Blacksmith Ed. So I might try that out. But first and foremost, I'm going to deposit this stuff. And that is a lot. I didn't deposit it before because it wasn't necessary. But, yeah, I may as well now. And of course, anything that you deposit will also be usable for upgrading. You don't actually need it in your inventory. However, in the case of the Flame Lurker Demon Soul, which will allow you to upgrade more through Blacksmith Ed, you do need it in your inventory, because what happens is, when you have the Flame Lurker Demon Soul, and I will mention that the Flame Lurker is the boss for World 2.2, which is what I'm currently up to, when you have it in your inventory, and you're talking to Blacksmith Ed, once you have exhausted his text dialogue, and you talk to him again, after you've exited out and then talked to him, he will actually take your Flame Lurker Demon Soul, and that will essentially be equivalent to giving him an Ember in Dark Souls. He can now forge more stuff, so you do need that in your inventory under those circumstances. However, anything else that you're doing with Blacksmith Ed, it's okay if it's in Stockpile Thomas's bank, which is really good. With the game that Demon Souls is, I would not at all be surprised if they decided to have it be in your inventory. So I'm glad that at the very least, Demon Souls made the decision, or From Software. Yeah, the game made the decision, no. From Software made the decision to allow you to upgrade through whatever you have in Stockpile Thomas's little storage, so that's really good. Okay, so let's go and talk to Blacksmith Ed and see what's going on. I'm going to level up once I've used all the souls that I need to use for Blacksmith Ed, because the most annoying thing is going to be if I level up to the extent that I can level up with the souls that I have, then I go to Blacksmith Ed and I can't fucking upgrade anything. That's going to be really annoying. So, of course, I'm going to go to Blacksmith Ed first, see what he can do for me, and then I'll be good. Seems that this Crystal Lizard has respawned, which is good. Doing these vertical strong attacks again. Because once again, the R1 is just not going to do much to this guy. 8 hardstone. God. They shower you with items in this freaking world. Anyway. Gonna drop down to this one. Righty right. And now we will talk to Ed. So, let's see if we can upgrade this thing. What does that require? We need 1 more Dark Moonstone. Because it says that we need 3 of whatever the fuck that Japanese stuff is. I don't know what it is. But I can guess that it's Dark Moonstone. Because we do not... If we have a magical upgrading item... Although... What if you use Moonstone for miracle items? Like, items that scale with faith. Because now that I think about it, I cannot think of an actual stone that is used for faith scaling weapons. So it's possible that Moonstone is used for faith weapons, and then Dark Moonstone is for magic weapons. That sounds like it makes sense. That makes sense to me, yeah. So, I would therefore assume that what I have 3 of right now is Dark Moonstone, because I don't have any Moonstone, and I need 1 more of those to actually upgrade this. I thought for sure that we were actually going to be able to upgrade this once, but I guess that because it's +1, it's already upgraded once, technically. So, ordinarily, if we were to take a falchion to Crescent, it would just be the Crescent falchion. But we picked up a +1 Crescent falchion, so it had technically been upgraded from the regular Crescent falchion to +1. So now that we're on the second upgrade path, we require 4 in total of Dark Moonstone, which is okay. I'm 1 off. As far as how I'm going to get that Dark Moonstone, I can tell you that I'm not going to be getting it in World 2. That's going to be something that I get in World 4. So, I'd definitely be able to get it one way or another in 4-2, but do I want to go through 4-2? Not really. I have a decent amount of damage on this weapon for what I'm going through right now, so I'm probably just going to leave it alone. I'm hungry. Fact. Starving, in fact. I haven't eaten today. But anyway. So basically what you're telling me, Doomlink, is that you're drinking whiskey on a completely empty stomach. Correct. Anyway, that's just me. I'm weird. Anyway. So, we're going to return to the Nexus, and I need to make a decision right now whether I would prefer to go to World 4-2 or 2-2. 2-2, as soon as I go and kill the Flame Lurker demon, I'm pretty much locked in to go and kill the Dragon God, because the Dragon God is such an easy boss to fight that there's just no real reason to pass up killing him once you've killed the Flame Lurker. The Flame Lurker is the real challenge of World 2. This is something that's important to mention. Oftentimes, the Archdemon is not quite so difficult as at least one other boss that exists in the world. So for instance, the Old Monk for World 3 is a lot easier to kill than the Man-Eaters of World 3-2. Because, I'm telling you now, the Man-Eaters are generally considered to be the hardest boss in this game. Second would probably be King Allen, but seriously, the Man-Eaters are just freaking awful. I don't think anyone enjoys the Man-Eaters. I definitely don't, I can tell you that much. But, definitely harder than the Archdemon. And also, well then again, I would say that with World 5, the Archdemon there is... the Archdemon that you're really fighting is someone that you're not fighting. All you have to do is go up to the Archdemon and talk to her and she'll die. It's the person who is fighting on the behalf of the Archdemon, Garl Vinland, who is a little bit of a problem, but he's actually pretty easy to deal with. It's just that I can't say that any boss is harder than Garl Vinland, that's the thing. So, overall, the bosses of World 5 are not a problem. It's actually going through World 5 that is the problem. You can have a few issues with 5.2, for instance, and if you don't know what you're doing in 5.1, you can also have some problems. But 5.2 will generally fuck with people. It fucks with me, mainly because you have super reduced mobility while you're in the Poison Lake, and you've also got those giant depraved ones, which... oh, I do not like the giant depraved ones at all. But generally, the bosses of World 5 are fine. The Archstones that have really, really easy Archdemons compared to the regular bosses that you fight are Worlds 4, 3, and 2. So with World 4 you have... oh, but even having said that, the old hero is not hard to fight at all. You know what, I'm undermining myself as I continue to talk. It's just the problem is that all of the bosses of World 4 are easy. All of the bosses of World 5 are easy. The Flame Lurker is a fucking bastard to fight. But he's a lot harder, than the Archdemon. The Man-Eaters are a bloody bastard to fight, but they are a lot harder than the Archdemon. So, as far as World 1, I would say that World 1 is the most balanced out of all of the worlds, because I would say that the Tower Knight isn't too difficult, but he can fuck you up if you don't know what you're doing. The Penetrator is very difficult if you have a slow-moving build that relies on shield. But if you have a fast-moving build and you just roll through his attacks, he's not a problem at all. It's also a lot easier if you have Bior of the Twin Fangs to help you with the Penetrator. But King Alland, just based on his damage output alone, is probably the hardest boss in the game. If you don't include the Man-Eaters, because the thing is, the Man-Eaters really depends on how well you're prepared for the fight. The problem with the Man-Eaters is they often launch you off the edge and they really give you some strife in that way, so... because you fight them in this narrow corridor, and they rush at you, and it launches you back. So if you're facing them, and your back is to the edge, you're gone. And then as well as that, they do a lot of damage. And then you also have to fight two of them. So they're basically the precursor to that of the Bell Tower Gargoyles of Dark Souls, except they're much harder. But even the Bell Tower Gargoyles can be a problem if you're not well prepared for them, to be honest. And I would say the Gargoyles of Dark Souls 2 are probably about the level of difficulty of the Man-Eaters, because I always had a problem with the ones in Dark Souls 2. I never really enjoyed fighting them, because the thing is with the Gargoyles in Dark Souls 2, they're not actually a required fight. They're in Belfry Luna, and they're just not needed at all. So I just don't fight them unless I need whatever is in Belfry Luna, which I can't remember right now. I forget everything, seriously. I'm bloody useless. Are we going to go to World 2 too? Yes. I'm not even going to level up. Fuck that shit. I'm annoyed now. The reason why I am annoyed is because I've gone ahead and sat here crapping on about nothing while doing nothing, and I need to go and kill this Archdemon. So what I'm going to do, as I said, is take the shortcut. So I really want to kill that crystal lizard, but I can't. I fucked up, basically. So what I'm going to do for the Flame Lurker is I'm going to cheese him. Not only am I going to take a shortcut for World 2, but I'm also going to cheese him. It's quite ridiculous that I'm doing this, but anyway. The way in which I'm going to cheese him is by using magic. And if you stand behind a particular spot... actually, there are two places that you can stand. It's on either side of the entrance to the boss room. You can basically get the Flame Lurker running towards you, and it's best to actually unequip the Thief's Ring for this. And you can just stand there and cast magic and just kill him without really having to deal with him at all. The Flame Lurker is fine, for the most part. It's when he becomes really, really flamey towards the end of his health, and I said flamey, like, imagine that. But you know what I mean when I say that, flamey. Anyway, he becomes really, really pissed off, and he attacks faster, I think. He probably does more damage, and he's a nightmare to fight. when he's in that state. So pretty much the idea is that I don't want to deal with any of that shit, so I'm just going to go ahead and cheese him in that way. So yeah, I need to remember where I'm actually falling here. That should be alright, yes. So if I fall here, that will be alright. Of course, this is a moment in time. I mean, you have a choice whether to go through the area normally or engage in the frightening falling mechanics of Demon Souls. The falling mechanics are probably more frightening than just fighting this or going through this level as per usual, but yeah, anyway. Oh, this is where... Is his name Grave Robber Blige? Is that his name? Or is that the guy in 4-2? I can't remember. But anyway, the point is that there is a guy, depending on your world tendency, who is sitting here, and if you show him the Dragon Bone Smasher, which is an item that you get in the next world from here, which, not the next world, the next level section from here, which is where you fight the Archdemon, you can actually pick up a big sword called the Dragon Bone Smasher. It's like a B scaling in strength. It's probably the best strength-based weapon in the game. And if you just show it to him, he will give you pure greystone. And through my stupidity in the previous Let's Plays that I was doing, I actually believed that I needed to give him the sword for him to give me pure greystone. I fucked up. I fucked up. That was the last drop that I needed to do, and I fucked that up. Seriously. Anyway, what can you do? What can you do? Now, because the Flame Lurker is going to be a really easy fight for me, given how I'm going to fight him, I'm not going to waste the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes that I currently have. So, I'm going to go ahead and equip the Cling Ring. Let's go ahead and do that now. Alright. So what we're going to do is, once again, 2 deaths in one live stream. Great. Just what I wanted. But I'm keeping up with what I was doing. Well, good thing I didn't use the fucking stone. Anyway. Were you able to see how ridiculous that was? I just barely edged forwards, but the game decided to launch me forward. And then death. That is the falling in this game. Seriously, 2 deaths, fuck. Good thing I'm not trying to get the Dragon Bone Smasher, because that is also a world tendency based thing, and now let's hold on, drop here. Thank fuck. I thought I'd died again. I thought I was gonna slip off the edge there. Seriously. God damn this. Actually, I really should equip Crescent Moongrass, because I'm at the point where I have so little health that it's probably worth having Crescent equipped, so that I'm not wasting my half moon. Now, oh, my stomach just rumbled. Definitely after this stream, I'm going and getting some food. It is time. It is definitely time. Anyway. Now, hold on. I can't fucking see that. Is that... I don't know if my brightness is super low or what, but I think... Hold on. The reason why I'm confused, everyone, is because I think my brightness is super low. I think there's actually a place for me to roll there. Is that where it is? No, it isn't. What am I doing? I'm so confused. Was I at the point where I needed to roll to the next area? This is concerning me. Okay. Well, let's just... whatever. We'll run back through. Here I am dying like a complete idiot doing the shortcut to the Flame Lurker. I don't know. Because the thing is, the reason why I'm so confused is because as I have been using the Elgato Game Capture HD and editing the brightness so that it is in keeping with whatever you guys are seeing in OBS, it is also affecting what's on my television screen. So I think the game is darker than what I'm used to it being. And you have to understand, I've been using the same fucking television to play this game since I bought it in 2009. So anything that is not normal in terms of brightness is just blowing my mind. So let me just... Try this again. Take 3. Fuck me dead. Oh. Oh. Oh, the fucking lawyer. Okay. I've done the full he fucked up now, because what I decided was that I would fight the Flame Lurker without leveling up, and you know what that means. Now that I've just lost my soul, then I can't level up with those souls, obviously. So, that's Demon Souls for you. Now, if you watch my Let's Plays, I can assure you that I never fucked up this much. So, obviously it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm having some problems with it, but, it's been about 1.5 years since I, last played. But, yeah. There's no real reason, when you look at it logically, that I should have died there. 4 times? Is that right? 4 times. Holy shit. Or was it 3 times? I can't remember now. But the point is that the place that I need to go? It is, isn't it? It is. Shit. I'm telling you, on my screen, that is barely visible. I can barely see that. But in the usual brightness that I have, it's completely visible. I can barely see it. The only way in which that I was able to see that there was something there was through the muscle memory that I've developed that tells me, hey, there's somewhere to roll there. And then that allowed me to look more carefully at what was there, and I realized, hey, there is actually an outline of a frickin' walkway there. Shit. I died a lot just for that shit. Honestly. Now let's go through here. And this will take us straight to the boss. So I just lost a lot of souls for pretty much nothing. My stupidity cost me, but that's alright. We'll be able to cheese this boss relatively easily. Now, after this boss fight, I'm probably going to... Oh. Am I still doing the... Okay, I've been streaming for 2 hours, that's alright. We're going to do more than 2 hours, obviously. I'm going to do the Dragon God after this fight, and then that will probably be it for this live stream, I would say. Just because I'm probably going to pass out from hunger. I'm so unimpressed with those deaths, seriously. I am making allowances for deaths at this point, because you have to understand I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. A little bit. Or at the very least I'm extremely self-critical. But I'm making allowances for deaths, just for this first build, while I get back into the swing of things when it comes to Demon Souls, because it has been a while. No, I didn't mean to press square. I meant to press X. Alright, so we're going to skip this cutscene. And we're going to take off the Thief's Ring. You can see, I'm standing right here, and he's not doing anything, so let's just bring him over this way. You can stand on either side of this weird spinal cord looking thing, and you'll be able to basically hit him. No. Fuck. You'll be able to hit him with magic. Obviously, Flame Toss isn't going to do much to this guy, so definitely, if you are going to get Soul Arrow, now would be the time. Because Flame Toss isn't going to do much to this guy. Cheesing him to high heaven right now. If he does this shit, just try to stand a bit further in. And he should get back into the spot where he was before. Oh, yep. For a second I thought he wasn't going to do that, but he did in the end. The thing to watch for is when he's doing that. That big outward effectiveness. That big radiating fire blast that he does. As you can see, I'm going to need fresh spice soon. Get back into position. Missed him there. Go and have some fresh spice. Because I don't want to overuse my fresh spice, I'm actually going to leave it for now. And by overuse, I mean, I think I had less space left in my magic bar than what that fresh spice would have healed my magic for, or recovered my magic for. So therefore I chose not to use it to get maximum effectiveness out of my fresh spice. Oh, you're back. So see this point, you can't even see, I can't. You can't on your screen either. It's just flame and nothing else. This is the point where you just don't want to be fighting him normally because he is really, really immolated in flame. And it's a worry. He just beats the shit out of you, basically. It's... Anyway. Ooh. Can you come and die? Come to die. At least I managed to do it with the sword in the end. Now I don't feel so bad for cheesing him. At least I killed him with the sword. Anyway, I revived, yes, correct. Alrighty. So, we just picked up the Flame Lurker Demon Soul. And we just got the trophy as well, of course. Decent number of souls there. It's really annoying that I didn't end up leveling up. I should have done that. I'll remember to do that from now on. I shouldn't take any chances. I knew as soon as I did that, that was a poor decision to make, to just leave everything to chance. But anyway, what I'm going to do is quickly go to the toilet, and then I'm going to take on the Archdemon of World 2. I'll be with you in just a moment. I actually dropped my my something or other. Anyway, I dropped something basically. Long story short. Anyway. Yeah, pretty overpowered trick. It's pretty much the only way that I fight the Flame Lurker, to be honest with you. And that's kind of... it's bad for me to admit that, because, to be honest, it is better to fight a boss legitimately, rather than using some kind of exploit. But for me, I just really don't like fighting the Flame Lurker. So when you have such an easy exploit just freely available to you, and you can kind of do what I just did with a sword as well, because the distance between you and the Flame Lurker, with that bone separating you, is not enough to actually stop a melee attack from hitting him, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure I've done it once before with melee weapons. Maybe it only works with a larger weapon, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that you can do that with a melee weapon. And it's just such an easy exploit to do that it's hard to not do it when the boss himself is probably one of the worst bosses in the game. He moves very fast. He has these really damaging outward burst fire attacks, and especially when he's getting towards the end of his life, when he's really, really inflamed, it's going to be a lot of health lost on your part, or my part at the very least. I really don't fight him too well, so yeah. Definitely a good situation when you're able to do that exploit, and it's very easy to be able to do it, as I said. Now, I'm going to go ahead and level up, of course, before I fight the Dragon God, because following my previous advice, I'm not going to take any more chances. I made a mistake before I do acknowledge this. I can't believe that I actually managed to die more times in this video than in the previous one. I made a decision that I wasn't going to die at all, and here I am. But anyway. So what I'm going to do is level up. What am I going to level up? Because I'm going to be able to level up a lot after the Archdemon as well. Because the Dragon God is going to give me a lot of souls. So whatever I level up here isn't going to be all. Just after I finish the Dragon God, which is not going to take very long at all, I will be able to level up again. So what would I like to level up? That is the question. Okay, endurance to 15. Let's get spell memory on the go. Now we have 3 slots for spell memory. And we will continue on, I guess. There are no other spells that I really want to use, to be honest. I do acknowledge this, but I feel like if I get 3 slots now, it's out of the way, and I won't have to worry about it for a while. Of course, some spells do require more slots, but yeah, we're not going to have any of those spells for now. Warding requires 2 slots. What else requires 2 slots? Maybe some of the weapon enchanting spells require 2 slots, for instance, Light or Cursed Blade. But, yeah, for now, 3 is plenty. Before I go into this boss, I'm going to use the Thief's Ring, or equip the Thief's Ring. Grave Robber's Ring. There's something about Grave Robber's Ring. The 2 R's messes with me. But, yeah, I don't even know what that does. I'm just going to equip the Regenerator's Ring and continue on. So this is actually an enemy that you are able to fight fairly early on. And by fairly early on, I mean like in the tutorial. If you kill the Vanguard. I knew he was going to fucking hit me there. It's just my luck, you know. Depending on your soul level, that can one-shot you. Fortunately, because I have a good soul level, I'm alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this, and then I'm going to stand in here. It's a matter of trying to not piss him off. And it's easier to not piss him off when you have the Thief's Ring, because he's trying to look for you. As long as you're standing in the shadow of the pillars as you walk through, he's not going to be able to see you. When he does see you, he's going to punch you, he's going to breathe his fire on you, he gets a bit pissed off, he doesn't want you to be here. And I can understand that thought, because he's basically... Oh, did I get one shot? You know... I have not performed this poor in a long time. This is like, fucking hell. Of course it happens in a live stream, why not? Why wouldn't it? Because of course, the rule is generally that if something goes wrong, it's gonna go wrong when you're recording. And so I'm sure it's doubly the case when you're doing a live stream. Fucking hell. Anyway, so, I guess, look, normally what I do, if I have a weapon like this, is that I'll play it super, super ultra safe by not breaking those bits of rock there with my sword, but instead using magic to do it, and using a bow to aim the magic. Now, that's going a bit far, I think. It's not entirely necessary for you to do that. So I'm just going to stand here. Please don't get pissed off. You can see whether or not he's pissed off by his... Hold on. He has 8 eyes. I thought he might have had 6, but this guy has 8 eyes. That's insane. Anyway. I think going two-handed helps with this. Just watch for his eyes. As long as his eyes turn back to yellow, then it's alright. Can't really see his eyes all the time, but... Anyway. So what I'm going to do is maybe go back in here. Alright, now I'll run. Should be fine. Yep. Once you're past that point there. Like, see where you have the archway here? You're alright. So, anyway, God. I can't believe I fucking died. Anyway, I just picked up New Moon Grass. That was the grass that is one step off Dark Moon Grass that I was talking about before. It will heal you with one single usage. So, fully heal you, that is. So, it's pretty good. Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, we now have 2, despite all of our deaths. If you have to be smart with something, at least be smart with your consumption of Stones of Ephemeral Eyes. They are very useful, obviously. We can also get one more in the Nexus that we still haven't acquired. And it's one that I only fairly recently discovered to exist. Oh, he's fucking pissed. Chill out, man. I'm sorry. Maybe he can't actually attack us on this side. It's possible. Maybe it's not until the other side that he can breathe fire on us. Because he's going to do that, put it that way. Let me put it that way. Yeah, see how he can only roar at us on this side? Yeah, I think that he's not going to do anything until we're on this side. Now, this is probably the more difficult stretch. This is where we have to run a really fair distance until we get to that point over there, and then we break the rocks. So let's try to do this as quick as possible. I fucked it up. I think I fucked it up. Roll, roll, roll. Get out. Get out of there. Okay, I didn't fuck it up. The reason why I thought that I did was because I attacked but hit the wall instead of the actual rubble that was there, the debris. So, thank God I didn't fuck that up, because I thought I did. And that's clear stone that we just picked up there. That is used for quality builds. So, any weapon that has the quality path will indeed use clear stone. And it's the same as before. I believe it's clear stone, large clear stone, chunk of clear stone, pure clear stone. Although I can't think of large clear stone existing, but it probably does. But anyway. So at this point we have taken the boss's health down really low. I'm sorry for skipping the cutscenes for those of you who haven't seen them before. Basically what happens is that we activate those big spears, they fire at the boss, and it takes his health down 1/2 at a time. The second one takes it down by a bit less than half. He's left with a small amount of health, and at this point we need to attack that glowing thing on his chin without getting hit by his breath, because his breath hurts, FYI. The safest thing to do is to use magic, because that breath of his really hurts. I'm not doing much damage at all with this magic. What about fire? I have a distinct feeling that did nothing. Okay, he's completely resistant to fire on his chin. Good to know. So... alright, that's going to be done much faster. For those who want to be a bit more risky, you can just keep attacking straight away without trying to get out of the way of his fire breath. The idea being that you can flinch him out of doing that before he can actually do it. So, yeah. That's it for Mr. Dragon God. As you can see, that is a silver trophy because that is an archdemon. That thing that we just picked up there is one of the best souls that you can get in the game that is not a demon soul. I believe that the item that we picked up that's not a soul there, which is clearly a stone, is pure dragon stone, which is going to be necessary for the dragon weapons. What the fuck? Oh, it's probably telling me that I have unlocked access to World 1-3, which is worth mentioning for those who are not aware as well. We can't actually access the next level of World 1 after killing the... what's his fucking name? The Tower Knight, until we have killed an archdemon in any of the archstones. It doesn't just have to be World 2, but any archdemon that we kill will open World 1-3 up to us, which is this area here. And I would recommend doing World 2 because, to be honest, I mean, it's a very easy world to go through. I know that it looks hard because I'm playing like a complete clown, but aside from that, it's fairly easy to go through, so yeah. So we'll go and consume this, that'll be a decent number of souls, and then I'll just demonstrate what it means to consume a demon soul. See how you're given a yes or no? Let's select no, because we don't want to do that. I'm pretty sure we still want to give the Red Hot Demon Soul 2, which is what it's called, by the way. This is called the Red Hot Demon Soul, this is called the Dragon Demon Soul. The Dragon Demon Soul is used for Firestorm, that's what it's called. You get it from Yuria the Witch. because Yuria the Witch is another spell giver apart from Sage Freg. She gives things like Soul Thirst, Firestorm, Fire Spray, Cursed Blade, stuff like that. But anyway, the Dragon Demon Soul can be used for that. It might also be used for Fire Spray, I can't really remember. But anyway, after much difficulty, I have now completed World 2. I can't believe that I had that many problems with it. It's quite disgusting, actually, that I did. But anyway, I guess all I can say is that it's the first time I've played Demon Souls in a while, so I have to make mistakes from time to time. What can I say? But anyway, at this point... Oh, that's an Orguide of Guidance, by the way, for those who are not aware. This basically is this glowing thing that is on our person. You just get it by default. It's a key item, so you can't get rid of it, etc, etc. Anyway, I still haven't acquired a shield, which is really annoying. I do want a better shield than what I have here. Not a very heavy one, but at least one that I can sort of rely on. And this is not something that I can rely on, but anyway. Well, I've been able to rely on it without too many problems so far, but I just don't like the guard break reduction, and I also don't like what it shields, so... I need to find the... There she is. Alright, so let's level up. And then I think that's going to be more or less all we will be doing for this live stream. So... We're not going to touch intelligence from this point on. At least not for a while. Not until we actually need 4 slots for soul memory. This is strength. Let's take this to 12, why not? Take you up. Well, we'll just match vitality and endurance. We'll just do that, that's fine. So, I believe that's all we're going to be doing for this recording, everyone. I have recorded for, I don't know how long. It says 2 hours ago, so it's not giving me 2 hours and etc. minutes. It's not telling me that at all. So at this point, I would say it'll start updating based on the hour, so... What do you do? Regardless, I thank you all for watching. This has been me, Doomlink, obviously. This has been the second live stream that I've done so far. The very long-running series that I've been discussing. And, yeah. We're doing alright so far in terms of the build. In terms of playing through the game, not so well. I've died more times than I really, really want to be dying. Despite the fact that I'm still alive and have... 2 Stones of Ephemeral Eyes at this point in the game, my play has been really poor. So, I guess all I can say is sorry. I normally play better, but I guess I'm playing worse at the moment for reasons that I wish that I knew. But regardless, in the next video, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. Maybe we'll try to get more Dark Moonstone, but I'll definitely make a decision on what I'm going to be doing for the next recording before the time in which I'm recording it. For now, I'm just not sure. In terms of when I'm going to be live streaming, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or the day after or what. Maybe I'll take a break tomorrow, because I have to say that live streaming does take up a lot of time in my day, generally, so it's nice to have a few days where you're not doing it. But apart from the time allocation, it's really fun to do live streams, and I thank you all for who are currently watching the live stream right now for watching, especially Shadowclaw for talking. Thanks for your interaction, and Jin Furai as well for appearing for a second time in my live stream so far. So with that, I thank you all for watching. This has been Demon Souls, and I'll see you whenever I am doing a live stream next. Catch you guys later.